Hello and welcome. In your A1 speaking exam, you may well be asked to talk about your house and the rooms inside your house. It's part of the exam, so you may be asked to talk about these. Your examiner may ask you where you live. He may ask you what sort of house you live in. He may ask you how many floors are there in your house, and he may ask you to describe what you have in your rooms, in each of your different rooms. Hi there, I'm Ed Anguish from Speak English with Ed. For those who don't know, we try and help people who are trying to pass the SELT English Speaking exams to understand what they need to know to be able to go sit their exams with confidence. So, one of the things that you've got to talk about, or that you may be asked to talk about, is your house and the rooms inside your house. Basically, in the UK, there are 5 different types of houses, dwellings that you can live in. The first type that we're going to talk about is a terraced house. And then we'll talk about a semi-detached house. There's also a detached house. And there's a block of flats. You could live in a flat. Or there's a bungalow. Now, these are the 5 common types of houses. They're not the only types of dwellings. There's different types of houses, different types of properties that you can live in. But these are the 5 most common ones and the ones that you're most likely to come across. Now, these are all different properties, but there are different ways that you can live in them. You can, for instance, buy a house. You can buy your own house, and to do that you can get a big wad of money, take it to the person that's selling the house, give him it, and then the house belongs to you. Or you can do it with a mortgage. Now, mortgage, you go to the bank and you say, can I borrow some money? I want to buy a house. And you pay back the money that you've borrowed every month until the house is finished paying for the whatever you've agreed with the bank. You pay that back, and then at the end of the time, when you pay your last payment, then the house becomes yours. It's your house. You own the house. That's one way. And then the other way that you can live in a house is to rent a property. Now, renting a property, somebody else owns the house, and you pay them every week, every month, an amount of money to live in their house. They maintain the house, they look after it and keep it up to scratch, and you pay money to them every month to live in their house. When you leave the house, you stop paying, but the house still belongs to them. You don't have a house at the end of the period when you've been renting. You never ever own the house. There are other ways, like various arrangements with the bank, but these are the 2 main ways to either buy or to rent. So, let's have a look at the terraced house now. So, terraced house. Now, a terraced house is one that's built in a row of houses. Let's have a look at this one here. Look. Now, there's a whole row of houses all joined together. They're joined together. There's no gaps in between. They're joined together. This is a row of terraced houses. This row it's an old row of terraced houses. I would guess at mid-1800s, going in 200-year-old. I'm not sure, but that would be a guess. I'm not an architectural expert, but that would be a guess that I have. But 1800, Victorian times, Victorian years. And a more modern one, I would say this would be the mid-1900s, probably 1930s, 1940s. Again, I'm not quite sure. But these, as you can see here, these are slightly different. The first lot have got 2 floors. There's a downstairs and an upstairs. And these have got 3 floors. There's a ground floor here. And then there's the first floor and the second floor. But this has got, what I would say is, there's 3 floors here. 1, 2, 3. 3 floors. But they're all joined together, as you can see. There's no gaps in between. You can't walk between the houses or anything like that. They're all joined together. And then we've got this one. These is just got two levels here. There's 2 levels. There's a ground floor. And then there's the first floor, so 1, 2, and this is the front door into the property. There may well be a garden at the back, but you can't see that, and you can't access that from the front. There would be a passage somewhere, or the end of the terrace. You would go round the back to the garden. But in the roof space here, there's a little roof, a little building, as you can see, and this is called a dormer room. Now, obviously, a roof is shaped like this, so you can only get a little bit of space. You can't use the entire space because this is quite low, and you need to be able to stand up and walk around. So there's only a small room in there, so it's not classed as a floor, it's just classed as a dormer room, which is a little room in the roof capacity of the house. Now this next one there's no dormer. There's no dormer you can see in the roof, and there's just 2. There's a ground floor and an upstairs. 2 floors, two levels. There's a ground level and upstairs. And this is the way in. This is the door, the front door. And then it looks to me as though the house runs like this. This is the house. And the house is between the chimneys. But this is a terraced house as well. So that's 4 styles of terraced houses. You can see they're vastly different. There's a big difference between each one of these. And there are lots more. Every row of terraced houses will be different. Wherever you are, be different, one way or another. Different windows, different sizes, different everything. They're all different. But they're terraced houses. Now we're going to look at semi-detached houses. So here we've got a semi-detached house, as you can see. There's 2 houses in one block. One building has 2 houses in it. There's 2 entrances, 1 for each house, and 2 sets of windows. Now, with a semi-detached house, you can walk all the way around. You can walk around. This is the front garden. There'll be a back garden as well, a garden at the back of the house, and this is a street. So that's a semi-detached house. Now, a detached house is just one house in one building. The semi-detached is 2 houses in one building. A detached house is 1 house in one building, and you can walk all the way around, as you can see down here. You can walk all the way around it. So that's your detached house. Now next we've got a block of flats. Now this is a block of flats. Now I'm not quite sure, but I think there's 6 flats here. I think this is a flat. If you live in a flat, you live on one level. This is a flat, this is a flat, and this is a flat. And then the same at the other side. So I think there's 6 flats in this building. And I think the centre here would be access. There would be stairs in this little bit here, where you can go up the stairs to get to the flat at the top. So I think that's what the middle bit is for. I think. I'm not sure. I think. Because they're all different. And here's an entirely different type. And this is a tower block of flats. It's a tower block. There's 13 stories here, if you count all these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 floors. So there's a 13-story block of flats. And I believe that, I would guess that there's four flats on each floor. I would imagine that this would be a flat, and then there'd be a flat on a flat round each corner. I would think. So that's a block of flats. They come in lots and lots of different styles and sizes, and I have no doubt that you've got flats and blocks of flats in your own city, your own town, your own city. So you'll understand what they're all about. But these are blocks of flats. Now, the last one is a bungalow that we looked at. And bungalows, they are smaller, they're more flat, they're smaller. There's only one floor. They're all on one level. Everything's on one level. This is, can you tell me what type of bungalow this is? There's one here and one here. This is a semi-detached bungalow. These are semi-detached bungalows, because there's two bungalows in one building. Two in one building. So it's detached. You do get detached bungalows. There are bungalows that are just one building, completely detached. But this particular bungalow is a semi-detached bungalow. And in the roof, as we saw in the terraced house earlier on, there is a dormer room. A dormer room in the roof space. It's not big enough to build 2 or 3 rooms, because you can only, as we said, you can only build in the middle of the height that you can stand up in. So that's why there's only a limited space. It's not classed as a floor. It's just a dormer room. So they're the types of houses, the 5 common types of houses. There are more, there are others, but these are the 5 common types of houses. So, the rooms that are in your house. There's every possibility that you'll be asked about the rooms that are in your house and asked to describe them, say what's in them, say what you use them for, etc. Or you could be shown a photograph of a particular room and asked to, what sort of room is this? So, let's have a look. If you were shown a photograph like this, what sort of room would you say it is? There's some cupboards on the wall. There's a washing machine and a table and a fridge freezer here. What room would you say that this is? 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. I'd say it's a kitchen. This is the kitchen. And in it, as we say, a washing machine, table, fridge freezer, cupboard here. You would expect to find a sink to do your washing up and preparing your vegetables and all this sort of stuff. There'd be a sink. There would be a cooker. You'd need a cooker, so you'd have a cooker. What else would you have? You may have a dryer or this sort of thing, or a dishwasher. So you think about the things that you've got in your kitchen and be able to name them, because you may say, what do you have in your kitchen? So think about things that you can tell him. You don't need a whole list. You don't need to go right into it deep. Just tell him, oh, we've got there's the kitchen, the sink is under the window. He may ask you, whereabouts in your kitchen is the sink? So you say, well, it's in front of the window or whatever. A lot of sinks are in front of the window. But you need to understand different things that you would have typically in a kitchen. Well, you're not going to find a cooker in your bedroom. Your cooker belongs in the kitchen. So that's that. So what room do you think this one is then? This one, there's a table, and there's 4 chairs around the table, and a bowl of fruit on the table at the moment. What room do you think this is? Go on. 1, 2, 3. Right. I think this is a dining room. It's a dining table. We've got a dining table here, and these are dining chairs and a bowl of fruit. So I would think that this is a dining room. Now, not all houses have a dining room. Not every house. The dining room and the kitchen is all in one area. A lot of people eat in the kitchen. So, not all houses have dining rooms. So, the next one, what would you say this one is? Now, there's somebody relaxing in a chair, watching the television. So, what do we think this is? Go on, 3, 2, 1. Right, I think this is a lounge. Now, some people call it different things. Some people would say a lounge. Some people would say a sitting room. Some people would say a best room. Some people would say the front room. When I was growing up, it was always the front room. But it doesn't matter what you call it. As long as you can let your examiner know that there is a difference, that this is a best room, a room for a different purpose. You may say, a front room. Now, what do you do in a front room? Well, you sit, you relax, you watch television. So, next up, this one's pretty obvious. It's a bathroom. And in this particular one, there's a bath and a shower. And you may have a wash basin in there. You may have a wall cupboard for your toothbrush and things like this. You may have a toilet in there. The toilet may be in there. But not always. Sometimes there's no toilet in a bathroom. Sometimes the toilet will be in a small room of its own with a wash basin, so you can use the toilet and then wash your hands afterwards. So sometimes there may be a separate toilet. But that's a bathroom. And then there's obviously the bedroom. Now there's a bed in here. The bed and a chest of drawers. There's a window. Quite often there would be a wardrobe. A wardrobe for you to hang your clothes in. There could be a dressing table where the lady of the house will sit in front of a dressing table doing her makeup and everything. So there's the bedroom. And then the last one in this house is one that's more come to light more recently, particularly following COVID, because before COVID everybody went to work at the office, but now a lot of people, they work from home. Working from home has become very, very popular. So a lot of people have in their home a home office or a study. It could be called an office or a study. It's become more and more popular. Not everybody does. Not everybody works in a job where they can work from home, but some people can, and a lot of people do. Now, all these rooms together, they make your house. There you go, house. Now, you've got a kitchen and a dining room, typically. You've got a kitchen, a dining room, a lounge, a bathroom, bedroom, office or study. Now, bear in mind, there could be more than one bedroom. There could be no dining room, dining kitchen. It could be a dining kitchen. But whatever it is, there will be at least these rooms of some sort in there. Now, there's no right or wrong answers to the question. No wrong answers. Let me rephrase that. There's no wrong answers. All the answers are right because they're all about your house. Everybody's house is different. See, every house in the UK is different. Every house in the world is most likely different because, let's say, for instance, there's an elderly granddad living in a house, right? They are going to use their house a lot different to what their children with their grandchildren will use their house for. Even if they live next door to one another, they could live side by side in identical houses, but inside the house will be entirely different because they're used in different ways. So every house is different. There is no wrong answers. Every house is right. As long what is looking for is not what you've got, it's how you can talk about the things that you've got. You know that the right things go in the right place. That's what he's looking for. So, just take note of the questions that you're being asked as well. Understand if he's talking about your bedroom, don't tell him what you've got in your bathroom. Talk about what you've got in your bedroom. That's the way. And I think that's about everything. Oh, your garden too. Yes, your garden. Now, you may well ask you about your garden as part of your house, because your garden is part of your house, really. So, in your garden, you may have a shed, a garden shed. You may have a garage for the car. You may have a greenhouse where you do some gardening and you grow seeds and tomatoes and things in a greenhouse. You could have a fish pond, a pond with some fish. What else? You could have toys, swings and slides for the kids and a trampoline and this sort of stuff in the garden. Just talk about what you've got in your garden. Learn what you call them in English. Understand what you call them in English. And then you can talk about them comfortably, freely, without any sort of worry. And that's what he's looking for. So just listen to what he's asking you. Talk about the things that he's asking you and you'll be fine. Now, if you've got any benefit from this video, I'd like to ask you to give us a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, then if you subscribe, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell, that little black bell at the side. Just ring the bell, and YouTube will notify you when we release new videos that will try and help you through understand what you need to know to be able to pass your SELT English Speaking Test with confidence. So, that's all I've got to say for now, apart from stay safe, have a great day, look after yourselves, practice, practice, practice. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.